Yes, the Miitopia Nuzlocke, my favorite challenge run of this game. The challenge just only consists of 2 rules. 1. If a Mii dies, they're dead forever, unless revived uncontrollably in battle. And 2. Life sprinkles are banned, and not allowed at all. While it seems simple enough, it causes a lot more stress and overthinking than one could ever imagine. And in fact, I conquered it back in August of 2024, but I don't think I deserve that crown. I used a stupid rule that I called the Life Sprinkle Compromise, which allowed me to basically make myself immortal using 1 life sprinkle per world. And usually if you do this challenge run, you usually only get the chance to lose 1 Mii per world, so it was kinda unfair, and I also pulled way more bullshit in that series, so it's time to rerun it. This is Miitopia Nuzlocke, the rerun. Let's get this started. And here we are, the simple world of Miitopia. It's beautiful and flourishing of nice, peaceful people. Too bad there's a supreme overlord that takes faces and turns them into monsters. And unlucky old me is about to have my life change after seeing a butterfly get a face put on it. And guess what I do? Sprint so far away from the beast I encounter a civilization, which is known as the town of Greenhorn. Oh boy, but my unluckiness doesn't end there, because after meeting the townsfolk, the supreme overlord I mentioned earlier revealed his true identity as the Dark Lord Nick Cage, and I watched as the townsfolk had their faces yoinked away. And me, being the good civilian I am, go to help this mother whose child's face was stolen. So, I go there and end up finding Nick Cage along the way, and demand the face back. But oh boy, he's ready to finish me off, cause he puts little old Denny's face on a slime which nearly murders me. But this goddess from a random charm the mother gave me just comes out of nowhere and saves me. She just even casually gives me the ability to become a chef and use my frying pan to whack the shit out of the slime that just tried to murder me seconds prior. And once I did that, I returned back to the town of Greenhorn and gave the child's face back. And now my adventure has started, because, oh boy, I own the goddess for saving my life, and I had to save the world. And even though I think that trade is unfair, we go straight ahead, begin the quest. And after a bit of trekking, we encounter the scary battle of 2 butterflies, but the goddess comes in clutch and summons my good old buddy old pal, Red Link, the energetic pop star. And now, with a party of 2, we traverse the lands of Greenhorn, until a butterfly blocks our way, who actually has a face attached to it, and in fact, it's one of the townsfolk. So, we have to whack the crap out of it, so this way we can get the townsfolk's face back. And it was kinda easy, but also not. He did some hefty damage, but it was easily recoverable by my healing and HP sprinkles that I unlocked in the fight. We do some more traveling, and then we encounter none other than Nick Cage again. And of course, he tries to kill the least threatening chef on the planet, but luckily the Goat Great Sage 190 comes in and even saves me. And also just gives me some nice inspirational words. But now, after stalling and obtaining 2 new team members, being Link the Cool Warrior and Pokebro GD, the lame deck mage, it's time to take on our first boss, the Mouse, which actually went smoothly for the most part. Sure, I really should have died immediately, but that one time I was at 3 HP and decided not to heal my Mii, but it was still quite easy. And then we already had to move on to our next boss, which is someone I've been dreading since the start of the run a couple hours ago, The Rock, who claimed the innocent life of Kirby the stubborn cleric last time around. But luckily, I made sure to focus. And I sure did. Nobody was getting close to dying, and we were really doing good, until he hit Pokebro GD and Link really hard, leaving them at 1 HP and 4 HP respectively. But luckily, before I even got the chance to heal them that well, the Rock just kinda died via Pokebro GD's unusually focused fire. So, there was no casualties, and I ended up winning safely. I then also made it through River Deep Cavern, which claimed my life the first Nuzlocke, and made me use my life sprinkle, but we steamrolled it this time, so no worries. But then, we make it to one of the scariest fights in the world, the Imp, who actually went really smooth until the end, with me and Pokemon GD both being at 1-shot, and I even left myself out in the open to get hit at 1-shot range. But somehow, I didn't get punished for my stupidity again, and didn't end the run, so lucky old me. And now, with all the townsfolk saved, the mayor gives me the permission to make my way to the castle, and along the way, we save this horse, who actually becomes a part of the team, and I name him Lou Boogaloo, cause why not? Just pretend that there's a second no at the end, though, due to the character limit. Fuck you, Nintendo, make your character limit bigger, please. And then we finally make it to the castle. And then we go to tell the king about Nick Cage's rampage. But he takes me as some type of joke, which is fair enough. I mean, just look at my outfit. I'm wearing newspapers and my weapon's a freaking donut. But karma comes back to him and he gets his face yoinked, so now we have to save him. And after a lot, and I mean a lot of prep, I took on the golem that his face was attached to and didn't have that many struggles. Sure, he hit Pokemon GD really hard, but the rest of the team was chillin', so we just had to worry about GD, and then the golem died quite quickly, thanks to our good damage and good ol' spicy dish spam. After returning the king's face and getting paid like crazy, I meet the princess, who tells me to go save her lover who was getting mugged by goblins. And after returning his dorky ass back, I have to go save the douche in the desert. And along our way to go put the douche back in his place at the castle, we get jumped by a griffin. But luckily, it was similar to the golem, but I will say this birdie put up more of a fight, and I was actually really low on sprinkles once it died. And after returning the douche's face back to the castle, him and Brendan, the guy who I saved earlier, have a little squabble because don't we love triangles? Such a good plot. But fine, Mr. King, we'll go get some stupid fruit in the jungle and... oh, shit. The castle's kinda ransacked. Whatever, we clean out all the monsters easily. They were no match for my powerful squad. But, oh no, the princess got kidnapped, and now we have to save her. And I watch as Brendan gets punched in the face by the general. And I wish they still kept in the fact that he gets hit for 500 damage, but they're like, nah, we'll just give him a super punch and just pretend like that happened. I hate that they removed that small detail. But now it's our turn to beat the shit out of the general monkey thingy. And we sure did. We shredded the gorilla into oblivion. And it was so stupid because she didn't even use the AoE move at all. It would easily team wipe us, but she just really didn't do it. And she also kept trying to punch Link for some reason, but his coolness is unmatched. And now, after saving the princess, the king finally realizes what a good boyfriend is, and we get paid like crazy one last time. And after one final trek through the desert, we have officially saved the land of Greenhorn, and did it quite easily in fact, doing much better than my previous attempt. And keep in mind, I had the same team, only swapping out Kirby the cleric for Link and not having a dead teammate after the rock. And now we look forward to our new adventures in the land next door. But too bad my buddies won't be with me. Because unfortunately, Nick Cage is angry because we steamrolled through his bosses, and he decides to kidnap my friends and resets my chef powers, because I guess he thought I was Jamie Oliver or some shit. Now I have to choose a new job, and just like that, just like the last run, I go with Imp. And now, off I go, into an actual desert with just Lou Boogaloo. But hey look, new buddy! Boldy the cool scientist joins me pretty quickly. And after some traversing, we encountered 190 again, who's looking for an ancient lamp that we have had to find for him, because that's my problem now, apparently. So we eventually find the lamp, pretty quickly, who was with the douche prince who shoves it in my hands after summoning the ancient genie inside, whose name was Dan. But he ended up attacking the entire town of next door, and that we were about to enter, and now we have to go on a quest to save Pretzel's gold. But luckily, along the way, we assemble a new 4-person squad, consisting of Derp Dude the Stubborn Cat and Toon Link the Cautious Death. In our adventure, we actually end up meeting with 190 again, who tells us how to capture the genie, which is simple enough. Just say his fucking name. But before getting the chance to do that, we had to take on this Minotaur who we encountered in the underground. But he proved to be no challenge at all, thanks to our sweet whispers and horse whispering, which I got earlier. And now we get to make Dan repent for his sins, and he gives Pretzel's gold back, and right that second. But unknown to us, the town was raided by the Dark Lord, and back to the face saving we go. And our first target is the Cobra, that I didn't bother to give a unique face to, but he also didn't put up much of a fight, so I guess it wasn't worth it. Even without the horse whispering, this was kinda easy. We then go back to the underground for Pretzel again, and now we have to save his face. And oh boy, nothing could have prepared me for this fight. I guess because he wanted vengeance from the last run where he wasn't too much of a trouble. But he spammed his AoE move so much, and my miis wouldn't stop looking at his painting! And if you don't know what that is, when your miis try to normal attack this boss, he has a pretty high chance of hitting. Usually it isn't that much of pain, but this time it was every single attack! And that actually ended up being my downfall, because if you couldn't see already, Derp Dude lost his life while trying to hit him. well, he was at 4 HP. But I wasn't even done, because that happened halfway through the fight, and one Horse Whispering didn't even save it. That's how you know this fight was really goddamn deep. Luckily, the remainder of us barely lived, with Blue Boogaloo coming clutch in the end with Boldy to kill him before I probably lost it all, because look at my team's HP. Screw you, Pretzel. I'm gonna eat you now.
Fuck your phone, Pretzel. I'm finna eat his bitch ass. Tastes like ass.
So now I have to 3-teammate the rest of this world, and it's actually worse than the last run, because Toad died during the next painting fight. So now I have to do an extra fight with this. But luckily, after a lot of stalling, and I mean a lot of stalling, we prepared the team and took on the next painting, who made the massive blunder of not using the Fire Breath AoE attack at all. Because Toon Link also did like 148 damage with a Flambe, which was due to the combination of Cautious Warm-Up, Show Off, and Sweet Whispers. And honestly, that really shocked me, because I wasn't expecting him to do 148 like that. But sure, Toon Link, go crazy all of a sudden. And then another easy fight happened, with the Shortened Shield, that did like 2 damage to all of us. The shield was literally doing 1 damage to me, and they didn't combo attack like at all, so we just shredded the sword into pieces thanks to Sweet Whispers, and then the shield just died shortly after.
And even though I lucked back, it was at the cost of my first death. The Pharaoh that came next was actually quite easy. His chip damage was relatively negligible, and thanks to my healing and good damage, he fell quite quickly. Even quicker than the last run, where I had a cat instead of a chef.
And now, with the town saved, we sprinted out of the desert that took the first life of the team member. And now it's done! We managed to only have 1 death throughout the entire desert, which is still quite annoying because Pretzel was the only hard boss in this world, and my team was doing just fine after Derp Dude's death. May he rest in peace. We now have to continue on to the next world without him, and also the rest of the team, because Nick Cage is angry again because he loves kidnapping people. But how foolish was he, because now I am armed with a blade, and I am ready to slice everything in my path to get my friends back. But hey, at least my 2 kidnap squads are friends, even though they're all schizo because they're communicating with the dead Derp Dude. Whatever. And now, just like the previous world, me and Lou Boogaloo trek on to the new world of Realm of the Fae, all alone. But hey, at least Kirby the Cool Imp joined the team quickly after, like Boldy did next door. And after some more walking, we made it to the town of Elven Retreat, which was 190 advice, and then we encountered the youngest Fab Fairy Green, who wants us to help save her sisters, who got kidnapped by the Dark Lord. And after adding Nigel the Kind Cleric to the team, we go through this Cavern of Citrus until we encounter the middle Fab Fairy Red, whose face is on a spider. But this was actually quite concerning, because it did a lot to Nigel and even Kirby to an extent. It was just a tank fest for me, even with leather armor. I even got to use Proud Protector. That's how you know this could have went much worse. But luckily, the overpowered being that is me, combined with some Sweet Whispers, and the horse, killed the boss relatively quick. And after we save Red, she joins us, and Green leaves. But we get our final team member finally, with Toad the Stubborn Flower joining us, who rotted in the safe spot for centuries, because, well, what do you expect? Do you think I want him to die? But he couldn't do that for long, because now we found Blue's face, the eldest Fab Fairy by the way, attached to an owl, so we beat the crap out of it. Yeah, I'm not even joking. Besides the concerns of the low bulk of Nigel and Toad, this fight was quite simple and it was manageable. And with the Fab Fairies assembled, we can progress with them opening the East Gate via dancing for Nick Cage. And even though he could just go end the game and steal everybody's faces, he only went for green for some reason. Nice thinking, idiot. But unfortunately he wasn't that stupid and stole all the townspeople faces, meaning another face hunt. And I'm happy my me complained about that in the middle of an area. Anyways, after some preparation, we started the boss hunt off with the Witch Slime, who was very easy due to the low damage and my healing powers of Nigel, Toad, and Blue. But man, the horse hasn't come around to help me at all this world. What is going on? And oh boy, I'm happy I jinxed that, because I opened the next fight with the Horse Whispering when it was my turn, so there goes half the HP of the Tomato Bros, and basically the entire fight due to my high damage output and my buttload of sprinkles to heal the frail ones. But now, imagine this. You were just chilling along with a boss fight. One Horse Whispering to open the fight, doing some nice damage. But this isn't like the last fight, because this guy hurts. But as your concerns increase, imagine them all fading away. once you see your horse coming to you and gifting you the win on a silver platter with another horse whispering. Yeah, that's how this fight went. And now, with all the irrelevant townspeople's faces saved, we can use their gems that they gave us after saving them to enter the rest of Lotus Lake and go find Green. I actually got to see a new camping cutscene along the way, and no, I'm not kidding, because I haven't seen this camping cutscene with the horse, even after approximately 8 full main story playthroughs of the Switch version. Whatever. But now, we finally make it to the final fight of the world, the frog with Green's face on it. And it was honestly quite easy. Sure, the stink breath hurt and once it came around, and of course the fearlessness of Nigel and Toad is annoying, but I have 3 healing sources and some solid damage from me and Kirby. And the one horse burst swing I opened the fight with, so the boys died unexpectedly fast without me really noticing. So now, with the Fairies united again, we get to participate in the dancing this time to get rid of the magic blocking our exit of this place. So, with the magic gone and 2 levels later, we made it to the end of the world, and man, this was a breather from the chaos in next door. The only stress I had was making sure Toad and Nigel didn't die, because they were very frail while leveling up. But once I finished the butterfly fight, I knew they can sustain themselves just fine. So, I went to the frog with no worries and left without anything bad to know about it. So, that was fun while it lasted, but we get the drill by now. My teammates are yoinked again, and I have to choose a new... Oh wait. I'm that guy. So I keep my blade, and oh boy, Nick Cage, you are so ungodly fucked because I have my blade now. Let's go save the friends we made along the way, because that's the true Miitopia. Here we are, in the Volcano Land, all alone for the bajillionth time. But only after 2 levels, I see the Haven Hollow, where I see 3 of my buddies, Toad, Toon Link, and Pokémon GD, who were saved and brought here by 190, who even joins us to go save them. So, that's what we do. And we go straight for Toad, which may sound crazy, but he'll be useful for the next boss, after this Magma Slime which gets obliterated by me 190, thanks to infinite healing and damage. And of course, the horse. But now we go for Toon Link, and I take back everything I said about Toad. This guy sucks. He was so ungodly useless, and I had to heal every 5 seconds. And did he use healing moves? No, of course he didn't. He was a fat ass and ate bananas instead. Pokémon GD and Toon Link, I am sorry for not saving you guys before this piece of trash who didn't heal at all. And just to make it even worse, Lou decided to help me when the boss was at 1 HP. How do you fumble a streak so bad, Lou Boogaloo? How? I just have to save GD now. And it was quite easy thanks to the tankiness and high damage of me and Toon Link. And also because of our high relationship level. But I almost thought that all away, because I nearly killed Toad on the spot, because he was at 14 and the golem tacked again. And luckily he went left, because if he went right, Toad would have just straight up died. He had 2 HP. Smart thinking, May. Oh man, my freaking streak of leaving teammates at 1 shot like an idiot is really freaking good, besides Derp Dude, but that was only a slim chance of him dying, so I won't really count that. So now, with Pokémon GD saved, everyone in the Haven Hollow is free. And now, we have 2/3 of the ultimate squad left to save. Let's freaking do this. But unfortunately, it wasn't going to be that easy, because once we enter the volcano, we get split up, but we get through it with both pairs getting by with ease, so nothing noteworthy. But before we get to leave this place and go straight for the Dark Lord, we gotta fight the Dark Dog, which actually has 2 team members' faces on it, being Nigel and Link, and also the Dead Man, but we don't count him. Anyways, this fight was really easy thanks to the newly unlocked Hyper Sprinkles, and also Mega Fire. Yes, I got lucky enough to gamble Pokémon GD to my level and get that. And also our big load of healing thanks to Toon Link and kind of Toad. So, after going through the courtyard, we are in the Dark Lord's castle, and we end up getting split up, but luckily I had a plan to make sure my main lineup was on my side, which was just remove them and have Derp Dude and Link on the party for the rocks. So this is why I had 2 people I didn't want on my side to be guaranteed to not be on my side, and I got what I wanted first try. That's nice. So he wrecked all the enemies that stood in our way, and even grabbed the chest before taking on the demon with Boldy's face on it. And hopefully this doesn't go like the last time I had Toon Link and Nigel on this fight. It didn't work out so well, did it? Nigel and Toon Link are the biggest bums of the century, but quite the opposite happened this fight. This was really easy thanks to a Pokémon GD praise and Horse Whispering, but it was still scary due to the high damage and Nigel and Toon Link. but luckily they weren't the biggest bums in the century and were actually quite helpful with their heals. So, with Boldy in our arsenal, I pulled the same shit with the rocks, by guaranteeing Pokebro GD and Nigel to be on the other side. So, what after felt like 2 years of resetting, I got what I wanted, and now it's time for the study of Kirby, after what felt like 2 seconds after getting the perfect reset. And did you expect this to not be free, with the 3 of my main 4 and a slightly worse version of myself and Link? Like, come on, dude. All we have to do is save Red Link now. And after a bit, we got our chance to do that. We saw him with a piece of armor, which was also a nice easy fight, with only the combo attacks to worry about, because they do hurt. And just like that, the squad is all back together. All 10 members. Actually 9, my fault. And now we have one goal. Win the Nuzlocke by killing the Dark Lord. But it wasn't going to be that easy. After what felt like 10 years trying to get here, it's time for the Dragon, which was also DC. Thanks to his low damage, but sure, it did add up over time, but come on, dude. I have 2 healers here. But that wasn't the non-easy part. About the road to Nick Cage. This was the required Fiend fight. So, let's break it down. I put Nigel in the safe spot because he's the more trusted reviver out of him and Toad, and hope that I don't die. But instead, both Toon Link and Toad use Sacrifice, which is something I completely forgot about, killing them both on the spot. And once that happened, I knew it was basically over, especially after I didn't kill the Fiend, and now, it killed me, leaving it all up to Nigel to save the run, with 1 resurrection, as long as it's on me, and it doesn't fail. And I got revived. Nigel saved the run. Once I got revived, I killed the Fiend, and then it was just a matter of stalling with Proud Protector, and Nigel revived Toad and Toon Link, because, you know, Toad's useless and didn't revive him first try. So, Nigel, thanks for saving the run. So now, with the most emotional fight I've ever done in this fucking game, it's time to sit Nick Cage down. Let's fucking do this. The first phase actually flew by, thanks to me and Pokebro GD's high damage output. But in the second phase, he just had to take me and Toon Link's faces. But luckily, Pokebro GD's Mega Lightning exists, so it wasn't long until me and Toon Link were back. And 1 Horse Foot Spring and a couple attack laters, Nick Cage was no more. But did you think the Nuzlocke was gonna end like that? Oh, hell no, it's not over yet. The Dark Curse is still on the loose and decides to go for me. But 190 takes the hit instead, making him the new Dark Lord, known as the Darker Lord. Wow, such good naming. Let's go hunt this bitch down. And just like that, here we are. The Sludge Arc. First step in motion was to head to the Traveler's Hub for answers, and our first quest is to take down the Yeti and the Powdered Peaks, which is quite easy even with the annoying Frozen status that doesn't come back for the rest of the game. But now it's time for a hunt for a Borger in Peculia. So we go there, and everything was going fine until Pokebro GD got hit by the burger for 58 damage. Thanks to a core with Nigel. I brushed it off as a high roll, however, and just as the fight was going to end, the burger struck again. He hit the distracted Pokebro GD for 61 damage, dealing only 1 damage over his max health, killing him right on the spot. And right before the fight ends, must I remind you, so I had to do everything I could to make sure that the boss didn't die. I did Proud Protectors, put Toon Link in the safe spot, but then Jordan came in. He served me a spicy dish, which killed the burger, meaning Pokebro GD is now dead. And all that, just for him to not give me any information about 190. This one hurt way harder than the last one. Pokebro GD was there since the beginning. Always dared to do a crap ton of damage. I even did so many levels trying to get him Mega Fire for Cerberus, and I fed him so much grub. He was supposed to go to the Darkest Lord and be remembered as an important icon for the run. But now, he's a symbol of sadness and my carelessness. And what hurt the most is the thought that if Nigel just revived him first try, he would have still been here. And just another thought, he wanted to forgive Nigel the second I got back to the aim, and like 2 levels later, Toon Link wanted to forgive him for his quarrel, even though that didn't cause trouble during the fight. A lovely team mage with some really good drop buffs and gear is now dead, but I can't let this go to waste. So I changed Boldy's job to mage, and I started to raise him up to fill the hole in my team, and he was doing really well, even though I didn't bring him up out of the safe spot until level 15, and just like that, it was time for the next boss. For this boss, we had to do it for a quest for our next customer, Shy Guy. who was in the last run, but just ignored the fact that he doesn't have makeup at all. And Boldy showed himself as a fighter, dodging attacks, and while he did less damage, I knew I would raise him so good it would make Pokemon GD cry of joy in the afterlife. And with his new pal Dirt Dude as well. And finally, after killing that boss, Link from the hit game Breath of the Wild told us about the skyscraper, and we head there to find out we need 4 jewels. Yay! More Sludge and team members to raise! Yahoo! While I won't show during the boss fights, I spent a while trying to grind my other team members to level 17 and having gear with over 4k gold in value, which I'll tell you once that jewel is achieved. Anyways, the first quest was easy. I grabbed the jewel next door so fast I didn't even clip me getting the jewel. And then we rushed our way to the next boss, which was the robot, and it even gave me shield sprinkles too. So if I was that crazy, I could theoretically do fiend fights, but I never did one anyways. So no chance. And also this boss was easy, I don't think I mentioned that at all during the script. And now after a bit, we make our way to the Ice Queen, which was also a pushover. Unfortunately, no gifts, but who cares? And look, Boldy's on par with the rest of us now, so there's no blaming him being underpowered if he dies. But now, we have to fight a former member of the Nuzlocke, Mudkip. Except, I was too lazy to do his makeup again, so he looks like that. Anyways, that was more entertaining than anything that happened in the fight, even with an underleveled Red Link, who was actually very useful for this fight, getting rid of a quarrel that just started between Nigel and someone. But now, with all 4 jewels corrected, and a new corpse added to the collection, we head to the skyscraper for one last time to actually end the run. Let's fucking do this. And after killing all the enemies carefully, we take on Nick Cage again, and an even scarier foe. And I don't know if you can see or not, but there's a dead body on the ground. This time being Boldy. And remember, no excuses for being underpowered. He actually has a better level and gear and grub buffs than Pokemon GD now. So, it's all my fault. I already lost my precious jewel that I was raising so hard to make him succeed. But, unlike the last corpse down, the boss had plenty of HP and there was no travelers had ally to fuck me over. So, I was able to stall in peace, and before that even happened, Nigel resigned Boldy first try. He is back, baby! And after some more turns of fighting, we killed the boss. Holy crap, I was so careless letting Boldy just die like that. I knew a rock's attack would kill him, but I was too dumb to put him in the safe spot. I guess the Miitopia god spared me, knowing that I'm still not over the previous death of Pokemon GD. But hey, they even let Nick Cage join me too, so that's neat. So now, being way more careful and resetting a lot, and I mean a lot, for the split rocks to go my way. It took me 30 minutes or more to get my main fort over here. It was time for the familiar bosses of Bob the Golem and Blossom the Gold General. But this time they're under a new ruler and should be easier, harder fights, but we smacked them into next Tuesday Nick Cage style, because we just do a buttload of damage like that. So after that easy boss, we move on to the other side of the rocks that I resetted for a while, but it didn't take as long, and we take on the deadly mobs in our way to the next boss, which were way less scary than I could have ever imagined, which was very shocking to me. But the boss fight was far less shocking because the familiar boss of Dan the Pharaoh got destroyed even worse than the last one. And man, this boss have an HP buff, dude. I did half in one turn with this team, with only 1 Hyper Sprinkle. And after some lever pulling and looting chests to make the team even stronger, we encountered the final boss in our way of the path to 190, which was the Fab Fairies on a frog and 2 tadpoles, which was a pushover like expected. And now, we just have to push through to our final showdown. And after clearing out the final wave of enemies, we made it to the top of the skyscraper, and we said our farewells to Nick Cage, who told us that this was all built for the Dark Lord to look above from the heavens. So, we had to head up to the world that he sits in. The other world. Let's go save the world. And not much later, it was time for our final showdown, up in the other world. And as I got ready to start slashing the Dark Lord to bits, he said nuh-uh and turned into the fucking sun with 2 hands. So now, it's time to use all 8 of my team members, but I can't use all 8. I have to use all 10, including the bodies. Unfortunately, one of them will be a major flaw in my plans, but we'll worry about that later. It's time to do this for all the marbles. Let's end this run once and for all. First up, the left hand, who I bought Link, Kirby, and Dirt Dude for. Luckily, Dirt Dude died fast, so no worries about him doing an additional 1 damage, But besides that, this was quick because of Sweet Whispers and Link spamming pressure point boosted attacks that did over 100 damage each. But that was the easy one, cause now it's time for the right hand, and oh boy, this was just stall the fight. Obviously, as you can see, Popstar and Flower don't do all that much damage, and whenever Pokemon GD was dead, Toad went to go revive him, which was super annoying. I also had to save spot after what felt like every turn just to heal up Red Link and Toad, so this way they didn't die to the right hand's powerful attacks. But after 32 turns of stolid doing pitiful damage, the right hand died, leaving just the main body of 190 to deal with. It was all on me, Nigel, Toolink, and Boldy. And oh boy, we did not let that pressure come to us. And while it wasn't my plan, we killed all the possible medals from the 6 teammates the Darkest Lord stole real fast. And we were shredding the main body at ungodly speeds. And after his 1 HP attack, it was no worry at all, because as you can see, I have 2 praises active, with Boldy having a freaking barrier too. I'm not kidding when I said every single attack from the Darkest Lord did 1 damage to him. So, after a bit more of whacking him away and a bunch of spells and doing all this crazy stuff, he died. 190, died. The run is over. We win. I fucking did it! I beat my non-bullshit Miitopia Nuzlocke. I did it with even the brightest of lights were on me. We pushed them away and proved why we deserved to win the run, with 2 dead teammates and one of them probably crying seeing how well his successor did. But it's not over yet. The Dark Curse was still on the loose, but luckily 190 trapped it before it could cause a new Dark Empire. And when faced with the decision to save it or end it, I saved the human soul stuck inside, which ended up being me? The reality is, I could blame all the deaths and hard fights on something, but at the end of the day, I control it all. I could have just left Dirtdude in the safe spot, or put Pokemon GD in the safe spot, knowing how much damage the burger did when Tut was active, but I didn't. But luckily, the Dark Curse is saved, and 190 took my clone under his wing, and now, we celebrate our victory. And even get to watch the credits. But once that ends, we get ready for one last photo. Look at that. Beautiful. No, it actually looks long. Let me fix that. There. Now the dead ones look good. That was Miitopia Nuzlocke, the rerun. Roll credits.
And as always, thanks for watching. Peace.